Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Welcome to another show. This is Anna Rosenberg, and today we are talking to Robert Newhart Jr. Robert helps successful professionals make their expertise visible using video interviews so that people get attracted and they get to do their best work with their best clients and patients. Robert, tell us the type of professionals that you can help the most.
Sure, and thanks for having me, Anna. I help successful professionals. Example might be plastic surgeons, lawyers, accountants, business coaches. Anybody that's a professional that delivers services is typically the person that I can help. And honestly, those people, what they're looking for when they're using video is they're looking to get their message out. And so, they want to find a better way. Everybody knows about video and how they can do video, but they're trying to find the best way to get their message across to their current prospects. And the problem is that all of the methods they have available to them today, it's intangible, right? They can't touch it. They can't do anything. So you can tell me about a service, and I can't go out and go play with it like if I went to the cell phone store or to buy a car. So the video actually helps bridge that gap. And so it bridges the gap between what the person does and paints a picture in their mind so that they can see how they can help their clients.
That's really cool, right? I never thought about that, like making something tangible. Robert, what is the most common misconception preventing professionals from using video interviews effectively when they want to create this, know, like, and trust factor?
Well, Anna, that's a great question because there's two that I hear the most of, and so I'll bring those up first. And the first one is always money. It used to be that it cost a lot of money to have a video commercial done or to do an interview, and it's not so these days because of technology. And so it's not as prohibitive as it used to be because we can actually do all the videos from anywhere in the world across the internet and still get a very high quality product that portrays the message and gives people that tangible understanding of what you're trying to do so that they can better know you, like you, and trust you, and potentially pick up the phone and call you for your services you're offering. Now, the second one is time, and they just assume that, hey, it's going to take a ton of time for you to come in, and we're going to have to, block off so I can't see any other clients, and that's not really true either. The only time we really need is a little time to prepare, and then we can record the video, and then we handle all the rest of that so that you don't have to worry about it. And so those are the two most prohibitive things that people have a misconception with is the time and the money. But, one thing they have to think about is this, and it kind of goes into both, is you can use a simple service like Fiverr, and you can get a really cheap video done, but you got to think about what message that you really want to portray to your potential prospects and clients. And if you want to be professional, a cheap video is going to make you look cheap. And so you don't want to skimp on either one of those two things when it comes to making something that's going to be out there, educating your prospects for a very long time.
Yeah, I also had in mind this thing of then you would come with a camera crew. Of course, my fantasy, right? My uneducated fantasy, right? And disrupt my whole day and how does? But you said that it doesn't have to be like that. What would it look like really?
Yeah, and that's another great question is to follow up on it because again, this is where you cut down on cost, but also you cut down on time because we don't have to bring a whole crew in, set up all the lights, shut down for half a day so that there's no other people coming in. We actually, you can do this through modern technology with a streaming video camera and recording, and then, of course, all the editing and stuff happens on the back end. So it's not going to disrupt the day at all. And a lot of people find that as appealing when they find the way that we create these videos to help showcase what their prospects are looking for.
Okay, I'm a little bit slow, right? I was born very blonde. So, can you give me an example of what this would look like?
Yeah, I sure can. For example, I've got a plastic surgeon that is in Tampa, and they were kind of concerned about the same thing. How are we going to go about and do this? I don't understand. They've been against videos. It was real simple. So I mailed them a cheap but effective Logicam streaming camera. And we used a simple service. We put it together and we recorded the videos in a few takes. And boom, the rest of the thing was done by us, all the editing, all of the things that needed to make it look nice to get their message across. So it's a real simple procedure that goes through in trying to take somebody and take their idea and what they want to educate their prospects on and get it out there. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, so now I have kind of a picture in my head talking about videos, right? So I need camera and some kind of system to be able to talk to the person interviewing me. If I were the subject of the interview. Cool, right? Look at
so if someone's asking the question, maybe they're thinking it right now, how would we go about doing this? And that could also be a pretty big obstacle because they've got some preconceived notions in their head. They think about maybe the local TV station coming in and doing a commercial or whatever they're trying to do. And we remove all those obstacles because we make it very easy for you to be able to just do that.
Yeah, don't call me blonde, but that's exactly what I was thinking, right? So it's not funny. If you laugh, it's not funny. If I make the joke, it's funny because I was born blonde, right? Don't laugh anymore. So what are the main obstacles that professionals encounter with videos?
One of the main obstacles that I run into is they're always concerned about, well, what am I going to say? And that is, it could be a pretty big obstacle because you look at typical commercials and other things that are out there and they just want to add they look like an advertisement. And we take a different approach on that. What you really want to say is something that you do every day. When you're talking to a new prospect, what questions did they ask you when you're trying to bring them into your practice or your business? Those are the questions. That's what you want to say to people when we're doing these videos because that's what they're thinking, and you want to answer those questions ahead of time. So it really is pretty easy. You already know the answers and the questions of what you're going to say before we even get started.
So what you mean is, for example, I make my list of all the questions that people frequently ask, right? And I answer those.
Yeah,
all in one video or in separate videos? How would that go?
Yeah, and that's another great question. It could be. Usually, it depends on the size and the length. You've only got a certain amount of attention span, so typically we like to make one problem, one solution type videos. So if it's going to take more, if there's a bunch of them, we can do more than one. But typically we just find those really nagging questions that your prospects are thinking, and we want to answer those. And in doing so, helps remove the obstacles in their mind that they automatically see you as the expert because you seem to understand them already, and they haven't even met you yet.
That's so cool, right? And that really solves the problem, what shall I say in the video, right? What's one of the most important things to consider when doing video interviews?
The most important thing I think to consider when they're doing the video is that you want to make sure that you're educating your potential prospects, the people that are actually going to be seeing the video, on what it is you do and how you can help them get what they want. So, for example, if a plastic surgeon is doing, maybe he wants to talk about breast surgery, and so someone might be typing in breast augmentation in the search engine, and they come across your video. Well, we want to make sure that we're answering the questions that they have in their mind, not just being an advertisement like a billboard. And that is the most important thing that we need to consider when we're doing these interviews, is that we're answering and educating our prospects so that they then see you as the natural expert and the person to call.
Cool. So again, you come back to the education question. How long should a video be?
Well, it really depends on the topic, but I really think that the videos should be somewhere in the time frame of what a normal commercial might be. Now, they can be longer depending on the topic. So if we're just trying to do a quick education, answer a quick question, it can be 30 seconds to a minute. But we've done some videos that last up to 5 to 7 minutes just because of the complexity of the answer and actually making sure that my clients are reaching out to their prospects and answering all the questions relating to the topic.
Cool. It's more important, to actually answer the question properly than how long, right? Than saying it has to be a minute long, right?
Yeah, we're not. Absolutely. We're not going to just say, oh, we're doing a minute and that's it. And then if it doesn't serve the purpose, then we're not going to do
it. Okay. Here goes another blunt question, but so could you give me a little tip, or a big tip, could be better, to look better on camera?
That's a great question. There's a lot of things that we want to do, so it's not just really as simple as just picking up a streaming video and all of a sudden you're on the internet, and that happens a lot today. Especially if people are trying to go cheap, right? I'm going to try this myself, which is okay. But some of the things you want to think about is you've got to have proper lighting. And some of the lighting, it needs to be direct light usually is the best when it's soft. So it's facing on let's say 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock, facing you in the front so that you're getting the proper light on your face. And then again, another good tip is if you're looking at the camera, you can see yourself on the screen. You want to make sure, one, that you're not too far away. We call this a chest shot, where you want to basically have your chest at the bottom of the screen, and you want to have about a Boy Scout, so 3 fingers above your head to the top of the screen, and then you want to make sure you're in the middle. So there's nothing that's kind of more frustrating you watching a video than there's stuff over to the right that's distracting and someone's on the left. You want to make sure you're positioned well in the video as well.
So, do you think it's the lighting the light is what going to make me look beautiful, tall, thin, and blonde with blue eyes?
The light is going to bring everything out. Now, if you make the light softer, then you're going to have that appearance. But yeah, sometimes people they're using daylight, and that changes if clouds come by, or there's a light off in the room, or they're using fluorescent lights. God forbid, because they put off a green tint on video. But that lighting is extremely important, and it doesn't have to be expensive. But lighting's important when you're doing video.
So I could use a window.
Yeah, I would suggest not using the window.
No.
And the only reason is, again, because we can't control what's on the other side of the window. So,
True.
The earth is moving, the sun's moving, and if it takes a while, then the sun could shift, and you're going to have variations in the light. The clouds could come through. You're going to have variations in light. So I prefer a little bit more controlled. You can usually go to a department store someplace and get even these little clip-on lights with like a 40-watt light bulb that you can face in your direction, and they just give you a nice light.
Cool. Any tips about sounding better?
Yes, you're always seeing like the people on the news channels and stuff, and they got these things where either a little microphone on their ear, or they got these things wired up around their ears. If you can have a little clip-on mic that's unobtrusive, you're going to get better sound. However, the next best thing is the camera that we like to use, the Logitech C920, has stereo microphone on it. So you can be within 3 to 6 feet, and as long as there's not a lot of extra noise in the room, you're still going to pick up a very good sound quality, as well as a high-definition 1080p video.
Cool. Okay. Don't laugh, but Robert, where is this video going to be located? How are they going to find me and see me?
You know, that's a great question. I'm not going to laugh, but I hear it all the time because we're not doing TV7 isn't coming in and shooting the commercial, or, the local Time Warner cable or whatever isn't coming in and creating a 30-second professional commercial. So they're picking up real quick. Okay, so we're doing this, but how am I getting my message out? And it's a valid question. And so honestly, when we get the thing edited and get it optimized and produced, we syndicate it out on the internet for you so that people, when they're searching for your subject, your topics, your keywords, they're going to be able to find your video. And obviously people are attracted to video because images and video, we're kind of trained watching TV to see video. And the images will help you stand out on a search page or be seen so that people are going to find you when they're looking.
Cool. How often should I shoot videos?
As often as you can. And the only
sure you were going to answer that, right? Like, can you be a little bit more specific?
Yes. I knew I had to be a little bit facetious on that because it from my point of view, you can't have enough video. And the reason I say that is if you think about in a time span of a business, how many different questions have your potential prospects had or even your clients have? And you can just do a simple Q&A and throw it up on your website. But again, people are visual, right? We're just trained to be that way our whole life. And so if they see a video answering their question, it's going to have more weight than if they just read it on a website. And so the more videos that you can have, one, to do your marketing, but two, to educate your prospects, patients, and clients, the better off you're going to be. Because you're going to be then seen. People are already going to know what you look like, how you talk, your mannerisms. They're going to understand that, hey, you answered my question for me already. I like you. I'm going to give you a call. That's really the power of video.
Yeah, this like feeling that I already know you, it's really, really powerful. Okay, I'm a little bit curious, but how did you get into this video interview thing? How did you get started?
Wow, how did I get started? That's a great question because it's kind of an evolution of trying to grow my own business. And so it started out just getting curious about videos and not knowing a lot and just doing a lot of research. And I found a way that we were doing what I'm going to call review videos, where we take one of your prospects' 5-star reviews and turn it into a professional production. And then the next evolution from there was to do an expert interview. Well, there's lots of different ways to do that. And so I just got curious about it, and about 2 years ago just started getting into it and practicing and getting better. And I really get a great satisfaction from being able to help people get their message out and educate their potential prospects and clients, because it's so effective that they end up just growing their business from it. And that really is what satisfies me and how I got into it and why I'm still doing that.
So how can someone that needs video interviews find out more about you and how you can help them?
Well, the best way for someone to learn more or find out more about me is to go to my website. It's full of resources on different things and different ways you can use video to help you grow your business or practice. And that website address is www.robertnewhartjr.com. Be able to find everything they need there.
thank you very much for sharing all this knowledge and to motivate us all to get started using videos. It was great to have you here.
Thanks, Anna. It was great to be here.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.